So I'm gonna check.
Good. Yeah, thanks.
Right. Alright, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to the Ernie Chen Show live over here. And of course, as usual, every single Thursday, I've got a very, very special guest here who are very successful business leaders, key opinion leaders, and they're definitely the people that you want to know, the who's and who are the movers and shakers of the whole entire entertainment, business, entrepreneur industry. And of course, today I have none other than a very, very popular and also very likable and very famous KOL, key opinion leader, and also social media personality. I've got Jeff Chen in the house with me. So everybody, quick round of applause and welcome Jeff over here.
Thank you.
You see, I think this is probably one of the first time we are in a reversal role over here. Why do I say a reversal role over here? You see, Jeff has always been a radio DJ, someone who has always been interviewing people, alright? And when he always interview people, I want to ask the first question is, have you been interviewed much by other people other than you interviewing people?
No, actually, this is the first program that I've been invited to interview to talk about my entrepreneurship.
Sure.
Because before that, I was a radio announcer. Then I get a lot of invitation from press and media, but it's interview on my entertainment career.
Sure.
Alright, but this is the first time I actually spent time to talk about my entrepreneurship, because as what you say, for the past 2 years, I've been interviewing a lot of entrepreneur, CEO, to get the insight of how they actually spend time on building their career.
Sure.
So this is what I've been doing. My vision is to actually interview as much as entrepreneur and CEO, so I can inspire more youth.
Great.
And today I feel special today actually.
Oh.
But because you know why? Ernie, you coming from the same background as me.
Yeah.
You used to from movie, which is entertainment related.
Yes.
And now you're out of entertainment industry and venture into education and entrepreneur.
But even in education also, it's very much like edutainment.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's
I
right.
don't believe in education in a traditional sense, but education in the sense of entertaining while educating. It's all about attention.
Yes.
And
yes.
in many ways, in your programs, the CEO Xiong Chong, CEO Xiong Chair, CEO Xiong whatever, and CEO Walk by Walk. I think in all the programs you do, to me, it's not just entertainment. To me, it's very edutaining.
Thank you.
So it's actually educating while entertaining the audience itself. And I feel that it's time for you to feel special, not so much as the celebrity, but to me as a value added to the entrepreneur community.
Yes.
So that's why I wanted to get you to come here to share not just from your personal experience as an entrepreneur, but also all the lessons you have learned from interviewing all these entrepreneurs. But before we get there, for the people to get to know you better and probably have always seen you on screen but never really understand the fundamentals of Jeff itself.
Yes.
Alright, so I'm going to ask you 3 questions. These 3 questions itself, you just have to pick one of the 2 options.
Okay.
3 questions. Every question we have 2 options.
Okay.
Just choose one of the 2 without much thinking and just the first impression.
Okay. Cool.
Okay? First question, nasi lemak or chicken chop?
Nasi lemak.
Very good. Very
Nasi
Malaysian
lemak.
right there.
Okay, got to be nasi lemak.
There you go. Business or holiday?
Business.
Business. He enjoys business more than go for holiday. Very good. And lastly, family or friends?
Oh man, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Both.
Cannot be both. It has to be one. It has to be family or friends.
Family.
That's a good one. And thank goodness now he can go back at home tonight.
Yeah, can sleep well. Yeah,
sleep well. The wife will allow him in the room, and the children will let him in the house.
Okay, thank you for making me not sleeping in the living room. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Now, for a lot of people here who probably do not know, I didn't know actually that Jeff speaks so good English because he has been known as a radio announcer for the Chinese. Was it My FM? My FM.
Actually, just a little bit of my history, because most of the Chinese who I think they know me because I've been working for in the radio for past 18 years.
Sure.
So I've been working for all the radio stations you're talking about, Chinese.
Sure.
I started from Gaoba, then I been invited to join 1FM to help them to set up the radio station. Then I've been invited by Astro to join My FM. Alright, so all the Chinese radio station I've been covered.
Okay.
Alright. And almost so they know me as a Chinese speaking.
Sure.
Because every morning I have to say 早晨早晨 to everybody.
So it's Cantonese or Mandarin?
Cantonese.
Cantonese, okay.
Yeah. But actually I talk about my English. Okay, I say ngam pass lah.
Ngam pass, okay.
Pass, okay. Not so
like my Cantonese is ngam pass also lah.
Alright, because Before that, I want to challenge myself.
Sure.
During my my career in radio, I tried something else. So I did try to enroll to continue my study in MBA.
Okay.
So because I've been stopping for quite some time,
Sure.
and then they require me to go back to get my certificates.
Okay.
So one of the exam I have to take is IELTS.
Okay.
Surprisingly,
English lah.
yes, IELTS. So surprisingly, I have quite a good score on IELTS.
Okay.
So I do speak quite a good okay English.
Okay English.
But because my role and my image has
Sure.
so many years has been in Chinese, so not much of people know I speak. And I host a lot of events and dinner has been using bilingual.
I see. I think that's why I wanted to speak to you and interview you in English, so that people see the other side of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, because a lot of times people just take it for granted that they just know you for what you are,
Yes.
and they don't know the other side.
Yeah.
Which makes you a little bit more interesting in that sense.
That's the reason most of the time after I host an event or a dinner show, people say, "Hey, you can speak English." They're so surprised.
Yeah.
Like I barely speak any English.
Sure.
Not so bad actually.
There
not
you
so
go.
bad.
In fact, not so bad, because when I first asked my team, so should I conduct an interview or should I even speak to Jeff in Cantonese or in English? They say, yeah, actually you speak good English. I'll say, oh really?
Not so bad.
Yeah. Because you just don't have the frame. We never had the frame that you speak any other languages other than Cantonese or Chinese, is it?
Yeah, not so bad. The first word I need to share with all the CEO and bosses, I think a lot of Chinese, the first, because I want to be a successful businessman.
Sure.
Used to call businessman.
Sure.
Then another stage is a very trendy word now. We call entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
But a lot of bosses pronounce it as entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur. Right, entrepreneur. I want to really find out, a lot of people, they reach to a certain state as a radio announcer or celebrity status, which you achieve that. You had lots of followers, probably they get caught inside the radio station environment. But the reality is this, why such a high level platform where the whole world look upon you and you kind of like just sayonara, gave it all up and come to a world where potentially will not be turning out well as an entrepreneur, right? So what made that decision for you, that decide that, what, I've worked my whole entire life in all these radio stations, I'm there where everyone is looking at me, I'm actually on top of the game, why take that jump?
I always say this, okay, once you have a dream,
Sure.
okay, to conquer one of the highest mountains.
Sure.
Once you reach the peak,
Sure.
so what is the next step?
Okay.
To enjoy one of the sound of the scenery and take a deep breath and say, I make it, and then what you do next?
Sure.
You have to go down.
Okay.
And then look for another mountain to climb.
Okay.
So I've been with radio for 18 years. I do enjoy that because it's my dream to
Sure.
be in radio. And after that, I realized online, see what we are doing.
Yep.
Here we are interviewing live,
Yep.
not on TV.
Yes.
All right, I'm not saying radio is no good. It's just
Sure.
that has been taken over by internet a lot.
Social media.
Social media,
Yeah.
yeah. So I've been thinking, what is my destination after 5 or 10 years if I still stick to on radio?
Okay.
I say it's not so bad. I still can maintain, sustain, but I think the dropping on the listenership and the audience is definitely taking place.
Sure.
So I have to look for another things that fulfill my next mountain or
Sure.
peak. So I think I should start something new.
Sure.
So that's the reason I think I've been thinking, what should I do?
Sure.
So first, I started with 2 programs on social media.
Okay.
One is an entertainment program.
Okay.
And one is a CEO Chair.
Okay.
With the CEO in car, which
Okay.
is an interview on entrepreneur.
Okay.
So it turned out to be the interview program make good view. I mean,
Sure.
there's a lot of people support and like it. For entertainment, there's a lot of people doing it.
Sure.
So I slowly think, what should I give my audience, my fans, my follower? So I'm thinking, should I shift from entertainment to more corporate or business?
Okay.
But if this switch is not me, because I'm still quite an entertaining person.
Yes.
So I say, how do I actually hybrid or mix corporate and entertainment
Sure.
together?
Okay.
So that's the moment I think I should shift to slowly phase out from to entertaining.
Sure.
So we have this program,
Sure.
and I want to move on to my vision now. Last time when I'm in radio, my vision is to become the #1 radio announcer in Malaysia.
Sure.
I'm almost there because
Sure.
the first is one of my good buddy,
Sure.
which is Jack Lim.
Oh, okay.
So I said, once I reach that peak, second step is to actually kick him out of the industry.
Okay.
He's my good friend.
Sure.
So, but once I reach there, so I will have shorter lifespan. Entertainment is
intense.
Yeah, intense, and then you might be kicked out because when you reach that age.
Sure.
So I see, okay, I should continue my career.
Sure.
Okay, and influence more people.
Okay.
But last time is to entertain you.
Sure.
Now is to give you value and content and
Okay.
to inspire you.
Do you feel last time you were not giving value to the people even though you're entertaining them?
I'm not saying that. Okay, it's just that the value is different.
Okay.
Okay, every morning you tune into radio, my program, I make you happy.
Yep.
Okay, this actually is doing good.
Sure.
So now instead of make you happy, I will actually have added bonus.
Sure.
Make you happy.
Sure.
And make you feel motivated.
Sure.
And give you a clear path of what you want to do.
Sure. Talking about happy, I mean, you're saying that you wake up every morning to make the people happy, right?
Yes, yes.
It cannot be humanly possible for you yourself to be happy, waking up every single morning to then be, is it really a show or is it really something that you can just wake up and be happy and get the people excited?
Both actually. You can't ensure that every day you are happy, but this is just your job, okay? You are paid to do that.
Sure.
But I enjoy doing that too.
Okay.
Okay, just like what we are doing.
Sure,
right?
sure.
So while we are on show,
Sure.
right, maybe this morning you have a bad day.
Yep.
But once you on your camera, you know what you have to do. This is your
Sure.
job, okay? It's just like customer service.
Yep. But do you see the big difference between radio, TV, the old traditional media, which you and myself are very familiar with, and social media? The world has kind of shifted quite drastically. Why people are looking at YouTubers or even social media influencers is because the difference is those are pre-programmed, preset. Even reality programs in
It's
the
not
traditional,
real.
it's not real. We all know that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a huge following, but it's become so real where people prefer podcasts, they prefer shows live online because they sense it's more real. You can't really fake it,
Yeah. True,
right?
true.
So in that sense, I think the shift has become what you are wanting to do.
Yes.
So the programs that you're creating, like CEO Seong Chair, the getting into the car, the CEO getting in the car, CEO Seong Cha, CEO getting on the bed,
yeah.
right? CEO Tai Walk, in translation, CEO in big trouble. Do you feel that those are real, or is it also still formatted program content that then is channeled from a social media supposedly real?
Okay, I should say it's real. Alright. Each of us have different dimensions.
Sure.
Okay, we have happy, we have unhappy, we have very hardworking, different faces.
Sure.
Okay, during my show, before we start our interview, we will actually have a copywriter and editor to speak to the CEO or the entrepreneur or the boss more than 2 hours.
Sure.
To actually understand them more before we actually shoot the program.
Sure.
So we will find that dimension that really can influence people.
Okay.
And really inspiring.
Okay.
So and then we dig it up and we interview. Actually, our show we interviewed them more than 2 hours, but we only take the essence, which is about 18 minutes.
Okay.
So it's gonna be the best of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, if you mention about real, for most of our CEO or bosses or entrepreneur in Malaysia, not much of them actually know how to been interviewed. You know, because saying out in paper or if I interview you, I write it out.
Sure.
Okay. Whatever you say, I will just only record the things which I want to publish it.
Correct.
Alright, this is what we do. So things which I think is not good, I will take
Edit out, yeah.
Edit out, okay? And for us it's the same. On camera, because not a lot of bosses get this chance to say, okay, if today you interviewed me,
Sure.
I get worried.
Yep.
And I'm not camera ready.
Sure.
So they get worried. So what we tell them is, no worry, okay? I'll give you plenty of times. Okay, we interview 2 hours. You just say whatever you want to say.
Sure.
You're not worried about something will actually bring bad image to you.
Sure.
So after that, we edit it and make it very comfortable.
Sure.
So when we give them this guidance, right, they feel freedom and just say it out. That's part which is very real.
Okay. So it's very real to the parts of what is good for
Yes.
them to look good lah.
Correct. You know, because once you're in a camera, you know you're a movie maker.
Sure, sure.
Alright, for an actor, if one scene, he got a lot of chance, there's no good
There's
take.
no NG, right?
Yeah, there's no good take, there's good take. So
Sure.
we're just taking that good, that take which is the perfect take,
Sure.
to edit it out and make it a program.
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Ernie Chen Show live. If you're watching, just tune in. I'm here with a very successful and
Thank you.
also KOL, Key Opinion Leader, Jeff Chin, who is also CEO, Chief Entertainment Officer, right, of SOCIALMEX. I want to lead to SOCIALMEX. A lot of people here watching now are asking about SOCIALMEX. You were in SOCIALMEX and there's this whole entire cool place. They said about you going around the whole entire office, shooting down things, I think playing with Datuk Norman.
Yeah.
What is SOCIALMEX all about, and is it still happening, or what is it with SOCIALMEX?
Okay, we are a company that provide a few services, which is production, content, and event, which is cater. Most of it is for social media use. Social media use. This is what we are, and a bunch of young, talented crew we have. So this is what we try to tell people. It's a new format of social media content creator.
And of course, with that, is there like a service that you provide to the people? Because it's a question here that asks, Jeff, you're seen as a personal branding guru. You know, you help these CEOs to brand themselves, to know how to speak or to how to carry themselves and build their brand. What would be
the main thing?
The tips that you actually SOCIALMEX will help these individuals brand themselves.
Yeah, I think this is what we are trying to do, because a lot of bosses or CEO, they are good in their working. I mean, their office, in their field, but once they come to the camera, they have no confidence. So we try to share with them is, as we all know, social media is one of the biggest media now that will help you to gain your branding, your company profile. So we actually share them our thoughts and guide them to do more content in social media to make people know them, see them. Or else it's kind of waste. You know, this is what we try to do. Okay, just like my program on CEO series. I realized when you mention, I asked a lot of people, when you mention an entrepreneur for you to follow, or your idol, okay, there's two choices. Okay, let me ask you this question. If an entrepreneur or CEO,
he can't get away from asking people questions. He's announcing habits are coming back. Now he's interviewing back on the Ernie Chen Show live. It's okay. Go ahead.
So, which entrepreneur is your idol?
Entrepreneur idol, I think there'll be plenty.
Yeah, there are plenty. Okay.
Plenty, a lot of them, right? Because I don't feel there's one person that I want to become like. But a lot of the different things from different entrepreneurs, I want to get what's good on that I feel comfortable with, that I can become of that thing.
Okay, when you ask somebody which is just graduate from high school, they will say Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
Elon Musk. Okay, most of them is not Asian.
But most of them don't even know what they do actually as an entrepreneur, right?
They just realize they're cool.
Correct.
You know,
there you go. Or they are just billionaires.
Yeah, of course. But you realize they lead a billionaire life, and they do influence people by using social media. And we also know for Malaysia we have Tony Fernandez. China we have Jack Ma. But you realize some of the beautiful entrepreneur which is very inspiring, their stories not being told. You know, because when they come to social media, this is not their main thing to be focused.
Unless you interview me on a TV program or radio show. Going to social media, publishing my life is something that I feel a bit awkward and not used to.
Correct. Right? And on social media, you have to give them something new, something extraordinary, which is not by the book. So that's the reason this is my mission. I want to share with all entrepreneurs. It's like, when our program, we can give you different experience, and the video is going to be so inspiring, and that speak the language for the youth. You know, we all during our kids' time when we study, our dad always say, you know, during our time, I'll be working so hard, I got nothing to eat, and I still work hard to feed you, and that's my language. Our dad's trying to communicate with us. But now, just like on social media, for all the entrepreneurs, they have to speak different language to inspire the youth. So our program is customized in this way. It's creative, it's real and entertaining. That you speak their language that inspired them. So bosses cannot speak to their staff and say, you know, during my time, I've been working so many overtime. No, you can't do this, you know. For you, you know, I see all your colleagues so happily working with you. It's not money can buy them.
I can't pay them much, so they have to be very happy working with me.
It's the power, the positive energy. You influence them. So all the bosses, they have been giving this energy to their staff. But if you put it in the social media, which you can influence many. So why don't you put it on camera and share it with the rest?
You've been both sides of the world, very extreme. Celebrity who literally usually would give management issue because you become the diva of, you know, I am the reason why the people are watching and paying you advertising dollars, right? And now you're the management side, you're the CEO who is managing the business side. From creative, now you're going back end of you cannot just be creative. You also have to look at the profit and loss being the boss of the company. So which one is more difficult? Being in the limelight, being like really seen by people 24/7 and literally being watched and being commented by people, and now being on the other side of the world. Which one is more difficult?
Of course, it's the second part of it.
Okay.
Because when you mentioned about under the limelight, radio, media, I've been doing that for a long time.
But it can get pretty tiring also. You know, people are scrutinizing you. Every small little thing that Jeff Ching does could be wrong. We will just harp on it. Does it not affect you as
No,
much?
no, no.
Not.
That, for me, it's nothing.
Okay.
Because we've been used to it for a long
Sure.
time. And it's a habit.
Sure.
Okay. You can't please everybody.
Sure.
So for me, that is not so difficult.
Sure.
But now what is difficult is to take care of my colleagues,
Your staff.
profit and loss,
Sure.
business, how to run healthy, to give value to your customer, your client, and your audience.
So it's more difficult doing this because you have so much to take care of right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Have you ever thought of just screw it, man? It's so painful and so challenging. As you just say, it's more difficult. I think I'm just going to go back to become a radio announcer and let the world worship me, and then let them handle all this headache.
I think it's time for me to grow up.
Okay.
It's time for me to grow up. Because I've been enjoying being a radio announcer or being a celebrity for
Sure.
a long time. I really enjoy it. But, you know, once you've been in a situation that you actually relax, calm, happy, that stage, make money,
Sure.
but then you don't grow, you know.
Sure.
Only when you are in a very tough situation,
Sure.
then you start to realize, okay, this is time for me to grow.
Sure.
So I enjoy and endure this pain at this moment.
Sure.
Yeah, for me, it's not easy because a lot of my friends is still saying, why you?
But so
why
stupid,
you wanna,
right?
Yeah, why you want to take this job?
Yeah.
You've been happily being in celebrity, and then you get paid for just doing a lot of projects,
Sure.
ambassadorship.
Sure.
But I said, no, I need to grow. I need
Sure.
to, and I really want my audience and my fans to grow together with me.
I think that's a great inspiration statement. A lot of people may not realize that little statement, you know. It takes a really, really, really tough person to give up what you have and to want to grow together with your followers and audience. I think that's something to be looked up to, right? There's another question, probably one of your fans over here. Since you are out right now, what is your next big plan and your end goal at the end of the day? What do you foresee yourself? We all have this big thing that we want to do. So what's your next big plan and your end goal when you say sayonara to the world? What do you want to ultimately achieve?
Okay, for my show now, I have a CEO on bed in car and CEO Taiwan and
It sounds a lot better in Cantonese, by the way.
Yeah,
CEO 上床, you know,
上床.
CEO 上車, and then CEO 大鑊. It sounds a lot better, more catchy in Cantonese. So you say CEO in car, CEO on bed, not so catchy lah. So if you understand Cantonese, those are pretty cool program names.
Thank you, thank you. And then now I have my own CEO club. I
Okay.
started a club which I actually invite some of my good friends to join the club. So this is my next big move. All right. So I
Can anyone join the CEO club?
they have the Facebook PM us.
Okay.
Then we have founder to go through everything to check and then to see whether is he okay to admit to join the club.
Sure.
So it's a different kind of association, I should say.
Sure.
We focus more on branding.
Okay.
Personal branding.
Sure.
Whoever who want to join this club, they must enjoy doing branding and influence a lot.
Okay.
So we're going to make this club more big, I should say.
Sure.
Big and to invite more young entrepreneurs to join us.
Sure.
Which can inspire many.
When you say big, is it by number of entrepreneurs or
no.
by revenue or?
No, by influencing power.
Okay.
By more people which enjoy watching our show.
Sure.
And get influence and want to have a different life.
Is it more for young CEOs, entrepreneurs?
Yes, for young, more prefer. I mean, our audience is more because you know, this is why we want to set up this club. If you ask somebody which is after fresh graduate,
Sure.
so ask them what is your dream.
Sure.
And I say, I enjoy work to be an employee. You know why? Because social media have given them so many content which is everyday. Okay. When you flip on their news feed in Facebook
Sure.
for a fresh graduate, what is the feed they get? The content might be Bobati,
Yep.
going to Thailand,
Yep.
Phuket,
Sure.
Bali, and screw your work.
Yes.
And
Yes.
don't like
Yes.
my boss.
Yes.
No, hashtag set life.
Sure. Sure.
So many negativities. All right. Not much of people tell you, hey, you should work hard, lead a different life, inspired more.
Yep.
Not much people doing that. Okay. So our club and our content is to try to change this perspective.
Okay.
So when you have your news feed or social media, you see something different.
Okay.
And motivate you.
Sure.
And be a successful entrepreneur.
Sure. The other questions that I wanted to ask you is something that I think you would have seen, because you come from a very Chinese following culture, business environment, and crossing over to CEOs in the English environment. What do you see as the main difference between the Chinese market and the English-speaking market?
You know, Chinese is complicated.
Okay.
Chinese in Malaysia is complicated, okay? Because just like what I'm doing, I started in radio, which is Chinese radio announcer.
Yep.
So I speak Cantonese and Mandarin. So all my friend is
Sure.
Chinese and Cantonese speaking.
Sure.
So, but now after I get away from radio, I start to join in entrepreneur circle. Then you realize they're different.
Yep.
They're English speaking entrepreneur, they're Chinese speaking
Sure.
entrepreneur. Even Chinese, there's so many markets.
Okay.
It's just like,
what are the markets? Can you share?
no, just like one of my you get to speak to a lot of business owner.
Yep.
They tell you, "Oh, can you help me to brand my product?"
Okay.
I say, why not? The first question I say is, are you target to Malaysian?
Sure.
As in all races, or you say maybe for Chinese, because some of them is very Chinese oriented.
Yes, yes.
Product. I say, okay, for Chinese. Then I ask them, for Chinese, you want English speaking Chinese or Chinese speaking Chinese?
Okay.
You know, because this is how you brand your product.
Sure.
In your Facebook,
Sure.
in your packaging.
Sure.
So you have to choose one. It's difficult to actually catch all the fish in just one net.
Sure.
So you have to start from which area first.
Okay.
So focus on that, and then you start to grow.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what the problem with our side. But the switch for me is still comfortable because
Sure.
I can
Switch any
I
side.
can switch to any side.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And if there's one thing that you really want to do, instead of all your CEO programs, other than work related, what would that dream of yours or the ambition that you want to be achieving that's not? For example, I myself, I lost 100, and from 156 kilo, I lost 84 kilos. That was something that is out of the work environment, and a lot of people was actually inspired by that process, that act which I documented the whole process, and that actually inspired a lot of people to start living healthier and working out and eating healthier. So outside of you being a celebrity, outside of you in this CEO position right now, what is something that you have always aspired to achieve, to want to do, that you feel will be a very powerful story for you to tell for years to come?
I think what we are doing now, actually we work with many schools,
Sure.
like the previous entrepreneur conference you had.
Yep.
Our club and myself try to work with different schools
Okay.
to actually share our story, and then not just online, by going to school, by going to university, by sharing. Because you see, it's difficult for the student to get in touch with real life.
Yeah.
Because in school, there's a lot of theory being taught. Business, marketing, accounting. But in real life, that is different.
Sure.
So what I'm gonna, this is one of my achievement, and my plan is to go to as many as university as I can.
Okay.
To actually share the student the real life
Sure.
of entrepreneurship.
Sure. Great.
So that is just not by the book,
Yeah,
by the book it's
definitely.
just fact and figure.
Definitely.
But in real life, it's not easy.
Yes, definitely
You have
not
to know
easy.
about networking, social.
Yeah. And on that social, speaking about social, you being on social media, I being on social media, I mean, I got lots of content online. What do you think are the things that a lot of these young people creating content, or even older people starting to create content online, what are the most noticeable mistakes that they make that they should not be making, should be avoiding?
I should say avoiding it. Because
Sure.
I realize social media is actually an open space.
Okay?
Okay, you can say whatever you want and
Okay.
do whatever. That's freedom of speech.
Sure.
It's just that on my perspective, on my point of view, is I think you have to be real.
Sure.
And which your thing can sustain.
Sure.
Okay, is for example, you have to package and brand yourself to an image that you think what is sellable
Okay.
and sustain.
Okay.
And of course, can be monetized.
What is sellable? Has it to be what is sellable to what the market wants to buy, or what is sellable that is authentic to who you are?
Both. You see, authentic to who you are might not sell.
Correct.
Okay, first, for a lot of influencers, they have been thinking in this way. For example, this is me. Okay, by using social media, I'm trying to sell me. But you have to look for that me which is sellable, because as I mentioned, you have different dimensions.
Sure.
But to be real, is that real of you really people like you, and can people like you long time?
Why don't we do a real case study right now, Jeff? Both of us over here. So if it's Jeff, what is that you that is authentic, that is sellable, so that people can see and learn immediately from that and do that?
Okay, for example, all right, if we have bad habits.
Sure.
Okay, we have bad habits, and which is something we don't want people to see. Right? As an influencer, shall you do that? Okay, maybe you think that is cool. For example, if I actually put up my feet up.
Sure.
During at home you can do that. You know?
Sure.
Even celebrity
Yeah.
they're human.
Sure.
At home and in front of camera they're different.
Yeah.
But social media, we have this thinking like I just trying to be real, you know.
Yeah.
Just be real. But do they bring you value by doing this?
Okay.
Alright, and what is your audience? You have to look for your audience. Okay, if your audience can't grow, the number of can't grow, your fans is not growing, that's the moment you have to think about it.
Okay.
Because now for social media it's very niche.
Sure.
Very niche. If you are making money from the audience which is your fans is very young,
Sure.
then can it grow? Okay, which the rest of the people might like you.
Sure.
Because Malaysia is different from the rest others country, because our number is not that big compared to the rest of the world.
Sure.
Like, China and then US. The influencer for US and China, even they're doing themselves. They're capturing very niche market,
But it's
the
huge.
number is huge.
Yeah.
On Malaysia, the number is actually very limited.
Yeah. 6 million Chinese market population, right?
And you only for the age group you are targeting is maybe lesser.
Sure.
You know, I always quote this example. For last time, my dad, my grandpa, myself, we all know who is Zhao Yunfan.
Sure.
Because we are forced to watch TV.
Yes. I also know who Zhao Yunfan is.
Yeah. And for current situation is, mom have different idol, kids have different idol. Mom don't know what kids worship. They don't know, like K-pop. Your mom don't know.
Sure.
And kids know. And for TVB, the kids don't know.
Sure.
So the market you're serving is actually lesser and lesser.
Okay.
And it is bound by the language
Sure.
and culture.
Sure.
So if you're US, of course, your language is English.
Yep.
You can attract to Hong Kong,
Sure.
England,
Sure.
and Asian.
Yep.
But
Yep.
if you are Cantonese, Malaysian Cantonese, is
Malaysian.
Is Malaysian.
That's sure good. There you go.
You know, but Hong Kong people they can come to Malaysia
Correct.
because we have been
Used
used
to
to
the-
their TVB
Correct.
and soap opera.
Sure.
But for our side to transfer to the rest of the world, it might be a little bit difficult for
Sure.
Chinese.
Sure. Usually at the end of the program, we're coming to the end of the show over here. 30 minutes pass by very quickly when you have good conversations and good getting to know you better. If you were to advise yourself when you were like maybe 5 years old, if you had something to tell yourself when you're 5 years old, what would you tell yourself, your young self at about 5 years old, at this stage after going through the years of 18 years in the radio business, celebrity business, and now coming up to the business world? What would you advise yourself if you're 5 years old?
Take more risks.
Take more risks.
Yeah, and enjoy failure. You know,
Okay.
because during my entertainment life,
Sure.
it's pretty smooth for me.
Of course.
It's pretty smooth for me.
Yeah.
And then now I take a big leap.
Sure.
So I experience it, and I really encourage people watching this and
Sure.
myself, take more failure.
Sure.
Really embrace it, and this is something you will learn.
That's what really grows you, right?
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
what's making you.
No, people are people are worried about failure because we have been educated in this way. You
Yeah,
know, just
yeah.
like when the moment you get your scorecard,
Sure.
you see E, F, then you start to worry.
Sure.
I'm not saying that as long as you work hard, you get what you want.
Yeah.
Even you fail, that is an experience.
There you go.
You know, for Chinese education, I mean our culture is
Sure.
when you come to failure, it's actually
A
a big problem for the
Yeah.
family, for everybody. But if you think in this way is, if you don't fail, how you learn?
Sure.
If you don't experience it, how you know?
Sure.
So just enjoy it, take as much as failure as you can,
Yeah.
and then just you will succeed one day.
Sure.
And for Chinese, we always think in this, we have to be success at a very young age.
Sure.
We have to be faster than the rest.
Yes.
You know, this
Yes,
is our,
yes.
our parents try to tell us.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. But I say, why don't you take your own time, enjoy what you're doing, and you'll be successful one day if you don't give up.
Sure.
Simple as that.
And you have interviewed so many entrepreneurs, business owners, both Chinese market, English market. I'm sure you've met so many people over the years being a successful celebrity radio announcer. If there was one common denominator that is all these successful individuals has that thing,
Yeah.
then all this audience over there, young entrepreneurs and young successful individuals who wants to become a successful KOL or business personality, what is that one thing that they all seem to have, including yourself and everyone else? What is that one thing that we all must have that you want to succeed?
Ernie have it too. As I always say it in a very layman term, is
Sure.
all entrepreneurs is 欺信.
Crazy.
Crazy. They're crazy. No, they have to have that craziness and because stubbornness. Say, I'm going to grab hold of this and hold it tight and not giving up. Right? No one can stop me.
Yeah.
Or even my family, my friends said, hey, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's going to waste your time or waste your money. But they just believe in that so much. As long as it's doing good for the society and for yourself, just do it. So this is, I believe you have that too. The first time I met you,
pretty crazy lah, I do things that people think cannot do. I usually like to take challenges that make the impossible possible.
Yeah.
I just ran a 21 kilometer just last 2 weeks ago, and it put myself in tremendous pain, but I still achieved it lah, finish lah. So yes, entrepreneurs do are 欺信. So if you want to become a very successful entrepreneur, you have to be 欺信, right? Means crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very fortunate today to have Jeff Chen, radio announcer for 18 years and now CEO SOCIALMEX. He does a lot of cool content. CEO Xiong Che, CEO Xiong Chong, CEO Dai Wok. Look out for his page. Check him out and also follow his shows and his content, because you know why? When people are at the top and they're willing to give it all up to come out and go through hell and pain, that's definitely something that we can learn from. And today I myself also am very fortunate to have this session with Jeff over here. If you missed this live session over here, go to Ernie Chen Show Live Podcast on Spotify and all the other channels. And we look forward to chat with you next week again.
Follow Ernie.
Yeah. We have got good stuff happening. Do follow each other, and of course, most importantly, stay humble and keep growing. Alright, with that, thank you very much, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Peace.